with Josie Coombe, meteorologist Taylor King, and sports anchor Alexander Huddleston. This is KCAU 9 News at 10.
The Briarcliff Chargers return home with a chance to not only snap its 3-game losing streak, but move closer to its first winning season since 2018 with a win on Senior Day against Doane. Chargers looking to send its graduating bunch out with a win at Memorial Field. Doane in search of its first win at Briarcliff since 2021. Briarcliff on the move. First quarter, Brock Saya somehow avoids the sack, and another. Saya says, how about this run? Dives for the first down here at the end. I love watching that guy play. And they're going to keep the drive rolling. Chargers cap off the drive. Emond Pittman hits Pater. BCU strikes first. 7-0 home team. Tigers are going to march down the field next. John DeRiso delivers the 7-yard rushing score. Chargers pull away late, though, defeating Doane 28-21. In Sioux Center, it's Dordt. Dordt puts its undefeated record on the line against Midland. Defenders 1-7 against the Warriors dating back to 2008. But up 7 in the first, Dordt on defense. Nathan Feldman picks off Brody Johnson's pass to give the defenders another shot at extending their lead. However, Dordt would not cash in on the turnover, giving the Warriors the ball back. And it'd be TJ Covington who would snag this over the middle, break a tackle, and run all the way to the end zone, tying it before half. This game a little too close for comfort for the defenders as they escape with a 17-14 win. Morningside dropped 7 spots to number 11 in the nation following its 1-point loss to Northwestern. Mustangs hoping to bounce back at home against number 23 Concordia. Mustangs in front 31-14 in the third quarter. Juven Hudson is going to take that handoff and go into the goal line and score for Morningside. Morningside goes up 24. Bulldogs on the ensuing drive. Gideon Stark searching for an option, but it's picked off. Agent Matthews with the interception. Matthews directing traffic, takes it to the Bulldogs' 14-yard line. Stings cash in. Zach Chevalier connects with Lennox Brown from 13 yards out. Mustangs boost the lead, 45-14. Bulldogs backed up once again. Stark, he's going to try to lob this one. Guess what? It's picked off by Blake Bellamy, and it's a pick six. Mustangs win big, 59-21. Number 19 ranked men's basketball squad opens this season against Mount Mercy. Mustangs in transition, slick pass from Fitzy Grant to Caden Van Regenmorter. Pair of Siouxland standouts linking up for the bucket. Home team goes up 8-4. Mount Mercy calls the timeout. Speaking of Siouxlanders, Lamar's alum Caleb Dreckman is dealing smooth moves in the paint for 2-part of a career-high 28 points. Morningside starts the season 1-0, defeating Mount Mercy 93-75. A ranked battle in the FCS, number 21 South Dakota looking for its first ranked win of the year, hosting number 18 Illinois State. Opening drive of the game, Coyotes line up for the field goal. Will Leyland connects from 37 yards out. USD leads 3-0 after one. Redbirds respond in the second. Tommy Rittenhouse looks for Scotty Priesen Jr., and he's in for the 11-yard touchdown. Illinois State takes a 7-3 lead. Just over 2 minutes to go in the half. South Dakota responds. Aiden Bowman connects with Jesse Miller. It's an 11-yard strike for the score. Yotes back on top, 10-7, but it's not enough. Coyotes come up short, 21-13. In play, they're chasing Northwestern in the conference standings, who is just 1 game back off first place. Both teams boast a 5-2 overall record. Nebraska on the hunt for the first score of the game, and who better to find the end zone than Emmett Johnson, who busts in for the score. Nebraska off to a quick 7-0 start, and he's going to hit a couple moves there. 10-6, Huskers lead. Big Red defense looking to keep it that way. Donovan Jones comes up with the pick in the end zone in plus territory. Home team capitalizes. Dylan Raiola finds Nigel Hunter for the touchdown. Huskers snap Northwestern's 4-game win streak and earn bowl eligibility in 28-21 victory. For that, 2 consecutive losses. They've got a big test in this one, hosting the number 11 undefeated BYU. Cyclone started hot. Rocco Besch hits Brett Eskildson. He takes it 75 yards to the house to put Iowa State up 7-0. Strong start for the underdogs. But BYU's freshman phenom was too hot to handle. Not only did he toss 2 touchdowns, Bear Bachmeyer ran one in here from 9 yards out to finally take back the lead 27-24. And it was all downhill from there for ISU. Cougars leave Ames with a 41-27 victory. Musketeers hit the ice for the first of 2 games this weekend against the Youngstown Phantoms. With a chance to snap its 4-game skid, Sioux City has not won on home ice since October 3rd. Been a long month for them. Musketeers hoping to pick up some points in the Western Conference standings. Youngstown is just 1 point back from first place in the Eastern Conference. Muskie goalie Jack Fitchhorn saw a barrage of 27 shots on goal all game, 21 of them in the first 2 periods alone. but it would be tied at 0-0 until the second period when Dallas Vu would get the puck from the corner, somehow bury that one in the net for the game's first score. Muskies would go on to score 3 more in the third period to beat the Phantoms 4-1. It was a huge 41-3 victory yesterday for the Hawkeyes over the Golden Gophers of Minnesota. That included a pair of scores from 2 former CLGLR Lions. Reporter Matthew Warrington was on the scene and has more.
Against Minnesota, the Hawkeyes were hoping to start fast, up 31-0 with more than 11 minutes to play in the first half. It's safe to say they accomplished that goal. They scored on the ground and through the air, a pick six and a punt return touchdown. The Hawkeyes had it going in every aspect.
I kind of blacked out, to be honest. I just saw the ball up in the air and try to do my best to get in the right position. And yeah, it was a great opportunity to go out on that stage and get in the paint.
The blocking on that play, I didn't have to do much. I think Jaden Montgomery took out 2 linemen. Cohen took out the running back. I just had to make one person miss. So credit to those guys blocking downfield.
You guys have seen the people come through here. It's just an honor to be kind of involved with them, and I've had some great mentors. And I talked to Tim Dwight. He texted me before the game. So, I mean, just seeing texts from guys like that, I mean, legends that came from here, it's just super good and gives me good confidence going into the game that those guys are watching and kind of do it for them as well.
With that punt return touchdown today, Caden Weegan has now tied the legendary Tim Dwight for the all-time return touchdown record at Iowa. That was his 5th between kick and punt returns. Not bad for the player that started his career in junior college and has turned himself into the Big Ten's best return man.
Iowa now goes on by and looks to face number 6 Oregon next on November 8th. Meanwhile, in Ames, it was not as sunny. Cyclones dropped their 3rd straight game to number 10 BYU. They looked strong in the beginning, winning 24-17 at half, but the Cougars just kept scoring, beating ISU 41-27.
I feel like it's the last 10 quarters we played, the second half of Cincinnati, all of the Colorado game and this game. And, again, I feel like we're like inches away from being, the team we want to be. And
got to keep pushing forward in practice. Got to keep practicing harder, a lot harder than we've obviously done so far if we're going to come back from these 3 losses. So it's going to take our whole team to really buy in on it. But anything's possible with this group, man. Got a lot of love for these guys.
Yeah, you just keep working. There's nothing else you can do, really. You can either lay down and quit, but no, we've got none of that here. We're excited to get back to work. Obviously, there's a lot to work on.
Yeah, it's football. I mean, we're not the only team in history of college football that lose 3 straight games, and that's how you got to look at it. Reality is we're probably not going to get to the Big 12 championship, but now it's what are we playing for? What's going to be our momentum? What's going to be our why for the rest of the season to go out there and play our game?
Cyclones look to bounce back, hosting Arizona State this weekend. Our Siouxland NFL slate kicked off with the Bears heading to Baltimore, take on a struggling Ravens team looking for their 2nd win of the season. Ravens, already without the help of Lamar Jackson, struggled to get things going on offense. Bears defense getting to Snoop Huntley twice. Chicago wouldn't find the end zone until the 4th quarter with DeAndre Swift up the middle, but by then it was too late. Kickers stayed active in this one as the Ravens swooped a win at home, winning 30-16.
Give Baltimore a lot of credit. They came out and they played a physical brand of football just like you would expect. They were hungry, they were determined, and truth be told, I expected a little bit more out of our squad to counter that.
Meanwhile, over in Denver, the Broncos hosted the Cowboys at Mile High, and it would be the home team reaching the end zone first. R.J. Harvey, 40 yards around the outside. Fantasy owners, if Harvey was on your bench like he was for me, sorry, he scored 3 times this game. The Bronco defense also came up huge in this one. The unit allowed Dallas to convert only 4 of 11 on 3rd down, sacked Dak Prescott twice, while also snagging 2 picks off the quarterback. This one would get out of hand for Dallas as the Broncos would trample the Cowboys 44-24. And wrapping up our NFL Sunday, the Packers head to Steel City to take their former QB1 Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. Last check, the Packers were up 32-19 on the Steelers in the 4th quarter. Now finally, it's Sunday, which means it's time to look at our Sports Zone top 5 plays of the week. Let's get into it. As usual, it was quite the decision this week, but let's start with number 5. Number 5 takes us to Morningside on Saturday. We're backed up in their own end zone. Concordia would throw a pick to lurking Blake Bellamy, who would then return it back for a Mustang touchdown. Number 4 is set in Cherokee, where in a game that went to overtime, Jackson Paulsrud would take the snap, running them himself up the middle. 2-point conversion to help win this one 58-57 in OT. Number 3, you only see in movies. MMCRU, it's Gage Johnson out for the PAT, and I don't know if you saw it, but he's going to kick it off the back of his lineman, and it still somehow doinks over the crossbar. Number 2 is our Sports Zone Player of the Week, Braylon Lopez from West Sioux. He takes this one outside, turns it on the afterburners for a 74-yard touchdown run all the way to the house. Look at that man go. But finally, number 1 goes to Briarcliff volleyball team after a diving save to keep the ball up, and Avery Beller hits it with one hand to keep it in play for a score. And that is our top 5 plays of the week.
9 Sports.
What is poppin', Susan? Welcome back to sports. The newest NAIA rankings are out, and we see a little more movement. After their 17-14 win, Dordt is now up to number 6, moving closer to that top 5, sitting at number 6. They head to Hastings this weekend. Next, you have Morningside finally breaking back into the top 10 after they took their frustrations out on Concordia, beating them 59-21. They head to Doane for their Hollow Weekend matchup. And finally, Northwestern moves up another spot after their bye following their big upset loss, a win over Morningside. They also go on the road this week to Midland. But back to the win for Morningside. One member of the Mustangs was named the GPAC Defensive Player of the Week after his efforts helped the Mustangs win their game. Linebacker Blake Bellamy raked up 12 total tackles, a fumble recovery, and this pick 6. What a big day for the big man. Week 8 of the NFL season is also almost in the books, but not before the Monday night matchup between the Chiefs and Commanders. Kansas City has seen a slow start to their season, starting 0-2, but after finally finding a positive record at 4-3 following their domination over Las Vegas, they look to keep the momentum going against the Commanders, who head into tonight without 2024 NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year quarterback Jaden Daniels, replacing him veteran Marcus Mariota.
You want to go up against the best of the best, and Jaden, with the way he played last year, man, he's in that category. And so he's a talented football player. I've watched play since he was at Arizona State, the LSU, and to now in the NFL. And Cliff speaks extremely highly of him as a person. And so I'm hoping he gets healthy sooner rather than later. But at the same time, man, I know Marcus can play too. I mean, I've seen it firsthand at Arrowhead in the playoffs, and I've seen him play throughout my entire career and have a lot of successful games, including this year. And so we understand it's still going to be a great challenge going up against a great football team and a guy that's had a lot of success in the NFL.
Chiefs and Commanders kick off right here on ABC at 7. And I'll have highlights tonight at 10. We'll be right back after the break.
CAU 9 Sports.
What's poppin', Celia? Welcome back to sports. Playoff volleyball is well underway. We caught a couple games tonight. Let's start with Hinton hosting West Lyon. Packed house in Hinton as the Blackhawks hosted the Wildcats from West Lyon. First set belonged to the Blackhawks, so we pick up in the second. When this spike broke through the Blackhawk blockers, freshman Adeline Ortegren steps up, makes the diving save, so the team can put the back over for the score. Hinton would go on to dominate this one, winning 3-0. Now down to Ottawa as the Spartans taking on IKM Manning. West Monona took the first set in the second. IKM Manning's Keegan Eished floats it over the defender for the Wolves' point. But the Spartans would answer back as Georgia Jones with the ace on the back line, and that's going to be a big point for them to stay in this one. Jump ahead in the match, IKM Manning's Addison Bandel with the big block to pull the Wolves within 1. But Wolves take the next 3 sets to end West Monona's season. They finish with a 27-7 record. Now let's take a look at some of the other scores from tonight around Siouxland. Rimson St. Mary's beat Boyden Hull 3-2, and Appleton Parksburg shut out East Sac County at home. Then in Emmitsburg, Central Lyon fell to the Ehawks 3-2, while Trainer shut out Westwood at home, winning 3-0. Week 8 of the NFL has now come to a close after the Chiefs hosted the Commanders earlier for Monday Night Football. Chiefs coming off a huge win over the Raiders last weekend. Commanders finding themselves in a 2-game skid. This game, donuts until the second quarter when the Chiefs would get the first score with Kareem Hunt. Now, hopefully had him in the flex like I did, because he showed up in the end zone again in the third quarter, this time catching a pass from Patrick Mahomes to make it 14-7 Kansas City. But without Jaden Daniels, the Commanders' offense just could not put a drive together. Kansas City takes home the win 28-7.